The snow runs red. I can still feel the warmth of Ragnar's blood on my hands. It's strange. When a man dies, the world keeps moving. The crows circle overhead. The cold bites my skin. My own breath clouds the air. Yet Ragnar is still forever. We were ambushed on the road. The Imperials came at dawn and we were fools in the mist. We thought the gods favored us, Stormcloaks, proud and free. But now, I sit alone among the dead. Behind me, their war horns echo in the hills. Ahead, the barrows. Old stone, old death. I remember when I was a boy, I swore I would never come near these ruins. My mother told me they were cursed, that the dead walked here, that the very earth remembered its pain. But now, it's death by steel outside or death by shadow within. I rise. I choose the dark. The entrance yawns like a wound in the hillside. Inside, the walls breathe cold against my skin. I tread carefully, torch in hand, the light trembling. The stones are carved with runes I barely remember from childhood. Names, prayers, warnings. Dust chokes the air, old banners hang in tatters. I step over bones scattered like autumn leaves. A mother's voice in memory whispers, "Never wander near the old stones." I should have listened. Hours pass, or perhaps only minutes. Time feels thin here. I find him near a broken archway. A boy, barely older than I was when I first held a blade. His face is twisted, mouth frozen in a last cry, eyes wide in terror. In his stiff fingers, a journal. I pry it free. His words spill out like a confession. He and his squad were sent here months ago. Their commanders promised glory and led them to slaughter. But the betrayal ran deeper. The Imperials knew where they'd be, knew when they'd march. Paid in gold, our leaders sold us all. This boy, this lost Stormcloak, fled here, just like me. But the Draga found him first. I read until the ink smudges under trembling fingers. I hear them now. Not the Imperials. Not the wind. Something older. The scrape of bone on stone. The faint sigh of breath where none should be. I press my back to the wall, clutching my sword, eyes darting to every shadow. There, at the edge of the light, a flicker of movement. Eyes like pale moons. A face cracked like dried earth. I am not alone. My torch dies and I light another. The walls close in. I pass murals of men bent in worship, their arms raised to skies long gone dark. There's a hall of spears, a pit choked with rusted armor, a door marked with runes of warding. My mind turns circles. Why did I survive? Why was I spared the slaughter, only to be fed to this grave? I think of the commanders, of their fine cloaks, their fat purses, their hollow speeches. The boy's journal spoke of bribes, of secrets sold, of troops sent to die. My fists clench. I rage against them and against myself for following, for believing. I hear them closer now, a scrape just beyond the wall, a sigh at my ear. I see a Draugr at last, fully, clearly, tall as a man, but bent with the weight of centuries. Its eyes glow with cold light. It does not speak, but its presence is a voice in my mind, whispering of hunger, of sorrow, of endless duty. They are the past made flesh. And I am a trespasser. I try to retreat, but the walls seem to shift. Passages narrow, doors close behind me. The barrow leads me, draws me, as though it knows I have nowhere else to go. I stumble through chambers of broken shields, past the remains of those who came before. Their armor rusted, their weapons snapped. They too fled into the dark. They too were offered to this place. I hear a voice, or think I do, soft like a child's laugh behind a door. When I turn, nothing is there. I find a vast chamber, its ceiling lost in shadow, its walls lined with crumbling runes. At its center stands a cairn of stones, worn smooth by time, and near its base, a journal. It's the same hand I read before, the boy's words trailing off into shaking lines. His last entry speaks of fear, of hunger, of the growing presence in the dark. He writes of hearing voices, not his own, and feeling eyes upon him. But there is no resolution, no farewell. The last words are a smear of ink, as though torn away mid-thought. I lower the journal slowly. The air shifts. A cold draft brushes my face. In the stillness, I hear something. A faint scraping beyond the stones. Not yet footsteps, but the promise of them. I grip my sword until my knuckles ache. The flicker of my torch casts wild shadows across the walls. For a moment, I consider turning back, retracing my steps to the snow, to the cold stars above. But the tunnels twist, and the walls seem to lean inward, as though the barrow itself has changed. Behind me, collapse. Ahead, darkness. Above me, silence. I whisper a prayer, not knowing if the gods still listen. My breath slows. My heart pounds like a drum. The scraping grows louder. I take one step forward. And then... They never found his body. Some say the barrow swallowed him whole. Others claim he still walks beneath the stone, lost in the dark, searching for a way out. But soldiers kept vanishing in the ruins. Patrols sent to clear the dungeon never returned. And the commanders, they were never punished. In this world, there is no justice, only silence and the hunger of the dead. Weeks later, a scavenger found a journal near the barrow's mouth, half buried in the frost. Its pages were torn, blood-stained, but the words survived. They spoke of betrayal, of fear, of one man's last stand. They became a warning, but only for those who chose to listen.